If you want to have an executive involved in FinOps, please listen to this episode. We are going to talk with Borja Martinez from Entity Data about what makes a FinOps dashboard useful for executives and what types of executive decision does FinOps allow. If you want to know the importance of FinOps, how to make your executives involved, and how and who should work on FinOps and pursue a career on it, please listen to this episode by FinOps Weekly. Starting, with the very first question that I have for you today, Borja, is that, for companies to realize the importance of FinOps, what companies would lose if FinOps ends up disappearing today?
Okay. That's not a good idea, definitely. Yeah, say maybe the accountability, I would say, is the main thing they will use. The ability to know and to understand who is spending what and why, to also control the cost. It's not just to spend less, it's just control the cost. You have to know if your bid is going to be higher or lower than the previous month, for example. And also, help you to make more informed decisions and therefore better decisions. And also, I think without FinOps, teams will also lose the ability to continue speaking different languages or working in silos, and definitely FinOps will help on that.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think that the communication and the being able to understand what you are spending on, and it's not, only cost reduction, as we always come from. I think most of us come from the cloud cost reduction idea, and then you adapt and you learn about the business value and related to it, and I think that's what trigger us to continue doing FinOps, right? And I think you were very, very on point with that. But diving up on the business value, so where do you have seen unexpected business value from FinOps, like realization from companies that FinOps works on the business value and not only on the cloud cost reduction side?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's maybe it's not unexpected, but it's not the usual way. But there are some things related to the product company, for example, related to the product pricing or investment in features. For example, to realize that the free tier of a product is generating most of the cost of an infrastructure. So this led them to change their pricing strategy. And same thing could happen with a feature. If you deliver a new feature, but you realize that it's costing a lot of money and it's not delivering the value you were expected, this helps you to change your strategy.
Definitely. I think that especially now with the the AI part and all of this, that you have a lot of cost drivers that generate a lot of cost impact in the consumption, and you can say free tier or subscription based, and then you realize that you're spending more on your customers than you are generating from them. That's crucial, right?
And the other side, if your preview tier is expensive enough to compensate that, it will be okay. But for most of these kind of companies, the free customers are huge and bigger that amount than the premium. So I think it's worth it to adjust the features you are offering in your free trial, or rethink the architecture of your application or things like that.
Yeah, and for doing these adjustments, what do you think are the metrics that actually matter, most when you are measuring FinOps success, FinOps implementation on your side?
One of the things is the allocation. So, you have to be able, as I mentioned before, to know who is spending what, and then also the commitment, coverage, the waste, the predictability, also the budget. It has to be accurate, and and also, I think another important thing is to mention that some metrics should be connected to the business. So it's not just an amount of money you are spending. So always connect this with the revenue or with some product or business metrics.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well that connecting to business is the most like important thing. I probably what drove me to FinOps is like, okay, this is business related. This is cloud, management with business. Like, and I like a lot the business side and the finance side of things. So you always need to relate to how the business is going, because that's what's going to matter at the end of the day to the company.
Yeah, I can remember some of our first conversation. More than 1 year ago. I don't know how many times. And yes, we were talking about that. So I think it's very important. And also at the end of the day, the business is who is driving the company. So everything you are doing, you have to connect to the business and to deliver value to the business.
Yeah, and that's why one of the reasons I think that FinOps is not going to disappear tomorrow, because it's such related to the business value, and business value is what drives the economy, that it's not going anywhere else. If cloud cost, and especially with the expansion to cloud plus continues, then all the IT spend is going to be probably under the practice. So talking about the cost, and what's the the mistake in FinOps that you have seen that is the most expensive one that you know or you have heard of?
I can't remember something specific, but
Mm-hmm.
nowadays it's always surprises me that there are a lot of companies with a lot of waste idle resources. Like RDS, disk, ABS, virtual machines, and when I say big amount or huge amount, it's like thousands of resources, and still it's surprising me because it's a lot of money. It's wasting a lot of money. So I can understand, but yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of resources.
Yeah, totally. I think that waste detection is also one of the, when I see like I analyze lots of content, and I see like trends on the what people are searching for. Waste detection is one of the most, according as long as automation, and of course FinOps for AI, which is like other type of waste. So definitely some of these are very important, and I think it's like the very first. Topic, then you have your architecture and your resources as efficient as possible without waste, and then from there you can improve and you can make it better. But waste detection is some of the things that needs to be
This is also related to what we were talking before, to the business value. So then I know some companies are maybe starting doing FinOps, focusing on the cost. They have the visibility to the cost. They want to reduce the cost, but they are not focusing on what is driving this cost. If you start in that way, you have to look for, okay, this cost comes from here, and this is causing this cost, and this resources, what is this resource using for, and then you realize that the resource is decided and you are not using it at all, and then you can remove it. But if you only focus on the cost, maybe you lose that.
Definitely, you definitely need to be related to that. And also one of the when I was saying the hottest topics, is that one of the most repeated topics is the the executive buy-in. How do you get the executive to take action on FinOps, and all these topics to get leadership involved in the process. So what do you think are the executive decisions that FinOps has enabled that weren't possible before, or weren't aware before for the executives?
Yeah, I think the decisions maybe remain the same, because that's the executive jobs.
Yeah.
They have to make decisions. But the difference, I think, is the way they are facing that decisions. I think now they can make decisions with better information, better data, so they could be smarter decisions. and definitely more informed. So, and this is about investment, about planning, where to place a workload, for example. So these kind of things that they are uh, before FinOps, but now I think they can do it in a better way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's the informed decision, the ability decision, the having the context, to take the right decision on that. So, talking about the context is like for you or from your experience, how do you translate like the cloud cost or the IT cost information to like insights that executive people can take action upon?
I would say adding context, no? And I think the business context
Mhm.
is very important because just the cost number means little or even nothing. You can you can spending more than last year. And this could be a good view. If your revenue is very higher than your cost. So uh, I think you must show the value IT or technology is adding to the business. And also depending on the audience, the C-level or the executive you are in front of, you must adapt your metric. Maybe if you are with a finance persona, maybe the predictability or the accuracy of the budget is more important. And if you are with a business or product persona, um, connecting that spend with the revenue or the product metrics or the features you are delivering is these kind of things.
Yeah, I totally agree. Putting the things in perspective now that we have, well, such amount of personas or different people involved in the different amount of stakeholders involved in the process, right? And we one of the things that have been important in FinOps has been the visualization. You mentioned it before, and dashboarding has been one of the first steps where FinOps started going. And for you, what does good FinOps dashboard look like for an executive? What does it have to be on that dashboard?
Question, I think depends the company, no, like always. But I think the main thing is that it has to be uh, simple, pretty simple. Less is more in these cases, because they usually have a short time and they need to see quickly the value of FinOps. And I would say it should have maybe one number about the current cost for this month or for the quarter, and also the trend of the cost for comparing to last month to last quarter. Then a tracking or comparative between the forecast and the budget, and then some KPI also about efficiency. I think it's also very important that maybe the coin or the effective rates or something like that to track the efforts and the optimization that the FinOps team are doing. Uh, and from that, maybe include metrics connecting this spend to the business that we were saying before. Some like cost per user, cost per transaction, things like that. But very simple.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, relating it to the business, which is something that they should always care about, and, being able to track the evolution as well. Like you can have the two metrics, like the, cost per whatever, and then the revenue per user and the cost per user, let's say, and you have it as a trend. That's a fairly simple thing that you can do, and you can change user for order, whatever, so that you can track how the cloud cost is impacting the business.
Yes, I think you have to find or to talk with the business people to find the better metric or the important metric for them for that business, and try to reflect that in your dashboard.
Yeah, definitely. And let's imagine that we are these executive people that is in charge of the cloud costs, and they are seeing these, let's say, these dashboards. So if you were in that position, like, what do you think are the questions that executives should be asking to their teams that you think they are not asking right now, and should impact their workflow?
Well, I would say maybe this is a bit, but yeah, maybe stop asking out just about the cost and start asking more about the efficiency, about the outcomes the business are achieving from IT or from technology. Things like how is our technology spent compared to our revenue. Are we getting more value in the products or areas where we are investing more? Or so maybe we have to change our focus to invest more in other products or other features, or you know how much revenue is this new feature we just launched leaving. It's worth it to continue developing this feature, or we have to take another path, things like that.
Yeah, I would say that's our very sort of good question. I think it's my experience with executives is that the first question are like, let's reduce cost, let's reduce, and that's because normally there is a lot of ways, which makes totally fine. Like, probably like the first question, if FinOps is going to be related to like cost reduction, and then from there you build upon the practice to drive to business value, right? Like, they understand a lot the business value orientation more than probably engineers like me, or finance, finance even maybe a bit better, but product, all of these people, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say. If you are able to speak the same language that they are speaking, it will be easier to engage with them, to have this executive buy-in, and I think from that point, your work will be easy.
Yeah, definitely. And also you can, if you are lower in the, let's say, in the company hierarchy, you can always, get first your manager involved, understand that your manager, and then they'll be able to help you upon if you have like a. I always say that if you have a good manager, then in the professional side you have most of it for helping you achieve your goals and being able to achieve your objectives. So go slow, but go with the right support, so
Yeah,
that you can get
yeah,
a
because
FinOps on your company.
yeah, at the end, just to focus just in the cost is they yeah, sometimes they can see the cost. It's to see the cost for the last month is very easy. You can go to whatever tool or whatever native scalar tool, and that's easy. But then you have to add this business context to the cost, the allocation part, these kind of things. That is not just the cost and the visibility. You have to grow your idea.
Yeah, definitely. I think cost without the business value like doesn't mean anything. A company could be let's say Google. Costs are probably like monstrous, and then if you are a small company and you have that cost, you're probably on bankruptcy. So you always need to drive the value and the revenue to that. So, but thinking about we have talked about the importance of FinOps, the executives, and talking about roles, I would like to know, like, you can talk to the audience about your story, about how you involved in finance, because we discussed this before in a Spanish episode. But what's your story in FinOps, and from your perspective, who should be considering a career in FinOps?
Well, my background. I was a physical therapist, physiotherapist,
Mm-hmm.
some years ago. But but then I decided to move to a career in technology and cloud specifically, and I always have a lot of interest about the companies, the business, the finance side. I was an entrepreneur before that, and and when I faced FinOps, I think it's a perfect fit. Is mixing this part of technology or more technical side than the business and the finance side, and I think the very broad, very extensive. Maybe as people, maybe like you, if you are an engineer and you have
Yeah.
more curiosity about business and finance, or the other way around. You come from finance, business, and you are interested in efficiency. Um, I think in the FinOps community or in the FinOps world, we are seeing many different roles and many different people coming from different backgrounds. Some I think another role I'm seeing a lot is like product managers. That they are used to work with people from different teams at the end, and this is what is Finos about, a very important piece of Finos, and they are used to it. So maybe it's a good background.
Yeah, definitely. After all, there is a multiple roles that you can do. You can do, more analyst type of work. Then you can do more engineering type of work with these automations and all of that. And then, of course, you have the management side, which is like you're leading a team that is specialized on FinOps. And then, of course, we have the finance part. We have the procurement people, which is dealing with all the contracts, the renewals, the licensing, the agreements, the discounts, all of that, which is, I think, one of the interesting things. And also the finance people that is like making the magic in the in the accounting side together.
Yeah, there is a lot
with the
of
procurement people.
a lot of managing people, different kind of people, maybe with different interests at the beginning, but to be able to connect them and to work for the same goal.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the most interesting things, is the variety of and the diversity of roles. And, with this diversity of roles, like, what do you think are the skills that are most valuable when you are entering in FinOps, independently of the, let's say, on the role you are coming from?
I would say I always believe in curiosity. So you have to be curious. You have to have this feeling that you must know or learn different things and grow in your learning career. And also the teamwork, the empathy. You have to be able to position yourself in someone's role, to understand what are the interests, and then also some technical skills and business and finance. That's I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to be like a hack of all trades, let's say. So you need to master like a lot of things. You need to know finance terminologies. You need to know a bit of engineering or, let's say, contracting. Well, if you are in procurement, it's less, but after all, you end up learning. And it's a lot of skills. And also, on the soft skill side, what do you think is the 2-3 most important apart from the curiosity that you just mentioned?
I think the ability to communicate properly, to prioritize also, because when you just start in Finos, you are seeing a lot of different possibilities or recommendations or activities to develop, and you have to understand what is more important than the others, and to prioritize that, and I think it's to communicate properly to the rest of the teams, and drive them to work together.
Yeah, that's totally true. I think communication, like, is one of the most important things probably in
life, I would say.
business, like in life as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one, and also being able to transmit and adapt the message as we just mentioned to the right audience. It's key. But I'm curious because I've seen I see a lot of questions and a lot of comments on the careers, on the roles, on FinOps, how it's going to be, etc. All the evolution, because it's a very early, let's say, practice. So where do you see like FinOps careers or FinOps roles evolving in the next, let's say, 3 to 5
Okay.
years? I know it's very difficult, but what's
Yeah,
your guess?
yeah, that's hard to say. I think, yeah, because nowadays with this, well, this technology evolution, AI, and everything, it's
Yeah.
very difficult to predict something, for the next year. Uh, but uh, yeah, I'm seeing, I, as you mentioned before, talking about the roles and everything. I'm seeing some trends, like one is this FinOps role in a vendor, in a FinOps vendor, be the expert in the FinOps domain, helping internally with the FinOps language to product, to sales, to everything within the company, but also helping outside the company to the customers to adopt their FinOps practice around the platform, the tool they are selling. Um, and I think this kind of role, it's very, very useful. And I think these kind of companies, uh, they they need more and more this role. No, another role maybe is the more classic FinOps engineer. Let's put it that way. Uh, which I think automation has to be
Yeah.
mandatory, and you have to automate as many processes as possible. Uh, and then another role is like the FinOps, head of FinOps or FinOps lead or things like that. That this is managing the strategy around FinOps within the company, relations with other teams, with executives. We were talking, the collaboration and all of that. Which I think maybe it will change the focus or broaden the scope, beyond cloud and a lot of more technology spend. But I think at the end, the high level activities uh, will be very, very similar at the end, maybe with a more uh, human component, and and here maybe the AI. I don't know the role of the AI in this kind of relations or this kind of things.
Yeah, I totally see that, and also I would add that the procurement people are getting more specialized people in procurement for FinOps, like very into that specific role, and not every procurement thing. Like specialized FinOps for procurement people would be very interesting to see, because I happen to know, like, of course I know Alexa from the FinOps Cash Flow newsletter, and I know other people, and they are like, their knowledge is super super specific and super valuable, because they manage like huge amount of money that way more than I can be doing in the engineering side. So they are crucial to the Finnish practice.
Yeah, out of the commitments, the contracts, and the licenses, and all of that, I think, yeah, they're becoming more and more important. And also, we are seeing that in the last Focus release. They have a specific data set for that contracts and commitments. So yeah, it's becoming more and more relevant.
Yeah, I think that's why one of the thoughts that I had when I started that the Finance Cash Flow initiative is like, okay, I don't have the space or the knowledge to have these people run, but I want them to be involved, and then it's like, let's put like their separate stuff, because they are super important to the finance practice, and they need their own space, because it's fairly different of what an engineering or someone more technical would do. But I'm thinking about if someone, let's say, that is listening to us today, and they want to start their finance journey, like tomorrow, on this Christmas, they want to prepare on Christmas. What's the one thing or the advice that you would give them to do on Christmas side?
Well, I believe that nowadays start learning something new is easier than ever. That being
Yeah, for
said,
sure.
you have a lot of information on the internet, with the ChatGPT or Gemini's of the world. But I would say start with FinOps.org webpage that has a tons of content, covers to FinOps. FinOps Foundation YouTube channel with all the summits and FinOps Next Talks, and join the community. And the best thing I think is reaching out to people to ask questions. I think we all have been there asking questions.
Yeah.
So yes, and also also your work with the FinOps weekly is also delivering a lot of articles every week, and they're very useful, and it's a good place to summarize everything what is happening in the FinOps space. Yeah, but I think definitely talk to people, reach out to the people, and yeah, this is the best way to learn something new.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the past episode with Alexa, we talked about that she just reached out and she comes from the from teaching, which is like English literature teaching. And it was like, how do you make a transition out there? And she was talking about the interacting with people, being able to talk, understand how it's working, how it's going. Mentioning joining the community such as mine or the newsletter or all of that, so you have like a lot of information that the different communities pool, and I'll have all the links on that if people want to join, and start working, start understanding. You will see like from repetition you will the knowledge, and you will see like, okay, certain terms are what is this term, then you'll dive deep, and that's I think what happened. We go to the rabbit hole, and to understand all the language, I think it's one of the most important thing, because otherwise you won't understand hell of a thing that the people are talking about, right?
I think start with the consuming the content, and start with the theoretical concepts, and then you have to land this to the reality, and I think talking to people, that's the point where it's more helpful, to listen to real stories, and to
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and also have to say that from the beginning, like joining this community, like the FinOps community is one of the most like open minded in terms of like the people is always open to talk. Like so Borja and I talked like since the beginning, and I had like no idea what FinOps was, and I met like a lot of wonderful people from that side. So people is always open to talk, and people is always open to in any kind of level, any kind of things. Like if you are very new, or if you are an advanced practitioner, the people is and the community is always wanting to welcome more and to help you, right?
if you think that what you are asking is very silly, it's not. I think we are we all have some this kind of questions, and always doubts to reach out to people asking this, but I think it's worth it to ask every question you have, and as you mentioned, I think everyone is very open. I can't compare with other community in technology, because I come from another background. But yes, and also if someone want to reach out to me, and I'm willing to help anyone in the journey and on everything.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'll leave all the links to contact us in the description. But contact and reach out, and get more people involved in this wonderful practice. So if you want to know more about spectacular career transitions to FinOps, such as the one that Borja had, we had the episode with Alexa, which comes from teaching English literature to becoming a FinOps author and the creator of the FinOps Cash Flow newsletter. If you want to know more about her story, please listen to this episode. I think that was that all for today, Borja. It was a pleasure to have you. It was a pleasure to know more about the executive side, which you are mostly related on, and the importance of FinOps and how to have like a good career. So great to have your story, and thanks for being here today. A pleasure, and see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye.